Motivation is what gets you started, but consistency is what gets you going. Hello and welcome to yet another session of SSB Crack Talks. Myself Rishi Goel, and today we are going to talk with one such blend of motivation and consistency, Mr. Tejas Pratap, who cleared the NDA written exams 5 times in a row. And after facing failures of being conferenced out and screened out, he finally got recommended in his fifth attempt for NDA 150th course and also got All India rank third and is going to join the prestigious NDA Academy very soon. So let us welcome him and know his journey of recommendation from 1AFSB Dehradun and his consistent efforts and preparation which help him to get his goals. So yeah, hi Tejas, how are you?
I'm too fine, ma'am. Good evening.
Very good evening and welcome to SSB Crack Exams. And first of all, many congratulations on you being recommended for your ND attempt, that too in your fifth attempt. How are you feeling?
Thank you very much, ma'am. It really feels too great, ma'am. Like आप जिसके लिए इतने साल मेहनत करते हो, and at last when you get it, it really feels like you are in seventh heaven. So too amazing experience, ma'am.
Right. Also, you didn't only cracked it, you are also AIR-3, right? और आपने
Exactly.
इतने साल प्रिपरेशन करके फ्रॉम गेटिंग कॉन्फ्रेंस आउट स्क्रीन आउट एंड फाइनली गेटिंग AIR-3, तो कैसा आपको फील हुआ, हाउ वाज द रिएक्शन ऑफ योर पेरेंट्स एंड द फैमिली मेंबर्स व्हेन दे हर्ड अबाउट इट?
Yes, ma'am. Literally, there were many ups and downs during the preparations. Actually, I started my preparation for NDA in April 2020. So it's been almost 3 years. So literally, there were conference outs and screen outs in between and ups and downs, and family was always there to support me. So as soon as they got to know the result, they were literally very happy, and they felt proud. And my mother also got a bit emotional because they have seen me gone through the process. So that's why they were really happy and proud for me.
Right. Okay. So as I just said, you have recommended in fifth attempt, and it is like a surprise to everybody that all 5 attempts were of NDA only, right? आपने
Yes.
5 बार NDA written clear किया. So what was your strategy to prepare for writtens, and what will be your suggestion for the upcoming aspirants who are going to write the written examination of NDA?
If I talk about my strategy, then I would firstly say, firstly going on for maths, I would firstly suggest them to complete the NCRT book as it is very helpful. And the NDA level questions are also much of just a bit above NCRT or mostly of NCRT level, the maths. So after completing the NCRT, I went for the Arihant Pathfinder book. And after that, I selected only the important chapters which are there, like around 30 chapters. From about 30 chapters, I selected only, I guess, 18 to 20 chapters for maths. And after solving Arihant Pathfinder questions, I went for the previous year questions. So coming to the GAT part, firstly, I prepared for the science. And after that, I went for geography and civics, because what I realized was in my first attempt, I prepared for the history for around some 1500 to 2000 questions, but only 1 or 2 questions I could handle it on. So I never prepared for history after that in my remaining 4 attempts. So I focused a bit on geography and civics, and I read the current affairs from online websites. Then for the English, what I did was I solved the previous year question papers, because that helps you to know what type of questions can come and of what levels. So along with these, what I would suggest is you solve the PYQs along with the time constraint. So that helps to manage the time in the exam very helpfully. So I would suggest that, and do regularly solve the PYQs like around once in a 2 week or something. And time management is literally very required for that. You have to make a schedule, like from what time to you have to read maths, and till when you have to read for the GAT. So time management also plays a good role in that.
Okay. So which one is your favorite section? Is it maths or GAT?
I guess maths was my favorite subject, so then I would say maths to you, ma'am.
Okay. Very well covered. Okay. Now we'll go jump on to the SSB part. है ना, अभी SSB की आपने जैसे मुझे जर्नी बताई, in your first attempt you were conference out, in your second attempt you were screened out.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
after getting conference out, like एक बार screen in होने के बाद, when you got screened out, how you took it, है ना, and how you came over it, that you prepared for this screening in such a way that you never got screened out again. तो क्या strategy थी?
Actually, what happened was in my second attempt,
Mm-hmm.
I could not figure out what exactly the figure was. Like the PPDT picture was too blur and too hazy, so I couldn't actually uh, clearly see what it was actually about. So my story was very different from the actual picture of the that was shown there. So that was the reason why I got screened out in my second attempt. And so then what I did was I practiced daily for about 20 to 25 pictures. I saw them in 30 seconds, and in 30 seconds I tried to visualize a theme for them in my mind. And so practicing for 20 to 25 stories a day, just making a theme. Like now I wrote story only for one picture, but I made a theme in my mind for around 20 to 25 pictures. So that helped me a lot. And after that I used to vocalize the story, or prepare for the individual narration of one story every day after writing it down. So that helped me a lot in individual narration and in boosting the confidence for the PPDT. And OIR, I solved from the SSBCrack OIR PPDT textbook, which is there. So I bought it, and it was really a helpful textbook, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you so much. And yes, the strategy is very good. Like practicing on the daily basis, है ना? Generally क्या होता है? SSB आ रहा है, 10 दिन बचे हैं तो चलो अभी practice कर ले तो हो जाएगा, right? So
Ma'am.
practicing on daily basis in a routine, like you have mentioned it in a routine, right? तो वो
Exactly.
बहुत अच्छी चीज है. I guess everybody who is going to appear for their SSB must have this thing in their practice कि वो daily basis पे practice करे. ऐसा नहीं कि SSB आया तो just practice start कर दे, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So also, you told me that you want to join only Air Force, है ना? आपने 5 के 5 attempt में your preference was Air Force, and here your AIR-3 is also for Air Force, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So why you wanted to join only Air Force, है ना? What was the mindset at that time when you started preparing? क्या Air Force में ही जाना है, ऐसा क्यों?
I would say this came because as my father was in the Air Force, so I used to watch the pilots day in and day out. Whenever I used to meet them in any functions or parties, and I always literally wondered like how would it feel to go thousands of feet above the sky and take a jet above the clouds. And so literally it would be a very thrilling and adventurous experience. So that was the reason why I chose it. And secondly, I also wanted to continue the legacy of my father of serving the motherland through the Air Force. So that was the major reason why I gave the Air Force always the first preference.
Okay, so from here only I'll ask my second question. In your interview, like stage 2, and now you got screened in. So, ऐसा you are from like Air Force background, है ना? So, what specific questions were asked in the interview regarding the Air Force, which you think like because you are from the background have been asked to you?
Ma'am, firstly, in my first interview, they asked me about they also asked me my view around the theaterization process, why Air Force was a little bit neglecting of the theaterization process. And they would ask me about the various aircrafts. And in my this attempt of the interview, the interviewer asked me which aircraft do you want to fly and why, and tell me about two unique qualities of that aircraft, which is not there in any aircraft. So he asked me this, and they would also sometimes ask me because of my name, like about Tejas. Tell me about Tejas aircraft, and why does it took so long for India to build Tejas, and why are we still not ready with the engine? There is no indigenous engine used for Tejas because we are currently using General Electric's engine. So they would ask me about that too, and about what are your views in general about the Air Force, and what do you think can be more done for the Air Force.
Okay. So if somebody is going to appear for the AFSB, आपको क्या लगता है specifically क्या-क्या चीजें prepare मतलब पता होना ही चाहिए candidate को? आपकी तरफ से क्या suggestion रहेंगे?
I would firstly suggest them to read about themselves first, as you are going to SSB, and SSB is a test which sees through your personality. So, firstly, I would suggest them to have a deep, thorough knowledge and make out the questions from yourselves. Make every permutation and combination of questions of your life, of the people around you, of the events that have happened around you, and of which you have been a part of, the places you have been to, and the things which you do in your spare time. everything, make every question you can and answer them yourself, the real answers. And firstly, have a deep knowledge regarding that. And secondly, I would say is uh, have a deep knowledge about the course which you have given the first preference. As I had given Air Force as my first preference, so the interviewer asked more about the Air Force, not about the Army or the Navy. So have a good knowledge of about the first preference, and thirdly of the current affairs of defense in general, and also what is happening in India and around the world in general, and defense, like the wars that have been fought by India. And so these are the major things which you should know for the interview before you go there.
Okay, so was there any tricky question or question that you find difficulty in answering? अगर इस टाइप का कोई क्वेश्चन था तो आपने कैसे उसको फेस किया?
Yes, ma'am. What I can tell you through my experience is that आप interview के लिए कितना भी prepare कर लें, there would be surely many questions that you would have never heard of or you would have never thought of. So in my case, it was like, as I was the house prefect in my class 9th. So the interviewer asked me what you did as a house prefect, what other house prefects could not do. So
Okay.
my as most of the house prefects have common duties, so what I answered was that in most of the cases, what house prefects did was they kept the practice session or the rehearsal session for their programs during the school hours. So many of the students of their house were reluctant to join because उन्हें क्या लगता था कि their study will get hampered because they will have to miss a period and then join for the rehearsal. So what I came up with the solution is I kept the rehearsal session after the school hours so that the students can join and their studies can go on without any hampering or without any issues. So that I gave as a solution. And this question also, like, tell me about any two things about the Tejas aircraft which any other aircraft does not have. That was also unexpected to me. Like, I knew its qualities, but the qualities which other aircraft do not have, that was little bit unexpected from me. So what I answered was that Tejas is a very small size plane. Actually, it is a lightweight and small size, so that makes it more agile as compared to the other aircrafts. And second was Tejas is a single engine aircraft, so it is barely any. There are, I guess, no such planes in the currently which has a single engine, and that single engine is this much powerful. So that was one of the qualities of Tejas which I answered now.
Okay, very well handled. So what was your way of preparing for interview? है ना, आप तो 4 बार interview में जाके. So what you learned from your previous experiences that you improved in this attempt in your interview specifically?
Ma'am, as I said, after my first interview, I realized that I need to focus more on my personality based questions. So I prepared more and more questions. Actually, I maintained a diary and I used to note down every questions that pertain to me regarding anything which I have done from childhood till now. I made all the questions which came to my mind, and I also wrote the points regarding to that. So I used to read that regularly, so that what happens during the interview is they ask the questions relating to you, but what happens is that you cannot regain too quickly during that interview. So if you prepare well in advance and if you read them regularly of your own points, then it will be very helpful. So I would suggest that. And I prepared around 300 to 400 questions like that relating to me, and so that helped me a lot in my interview. And secondly, I expected that there will be some unexpected questions in the interview, because how much ever you prepare, as I said, there will be some unexpected questions in the interview. So
Definitely.
at that time, you have to remain calm, and you do not have to think like, यार इसका तो पढ़ा ही नहीं मैंने, या फिर ये तो मैंने कभी सुना ही नहीं था questions, ये क्या पूछ लिया interviewer ने. You just have to remain calm and talk through your real self and answer whatever you know about it. Just be calm, be patient, and be humble in your answer, and just say whatever you know.
Okay, very good. Also, generally it is believed that if you are a hardcore repeater, right, you will tend to get some pressure from your interview. है ना? He will try to grill you at some points. Was the grilling there in your case or not?
There was grilling in my fourth attempt, the previous attempt which I had given.
Hmm.
And it was like why I took a drop. Actually, I took a drop after my 12th class. So the interview grilled me on that. He was telling me that there are many people who join the college, and even after joining the college, they are managing time to read for NDA, and they are able to make it to NDA. Then why to take a drop? You should have gone for the college. So what I told him was actually I wanted to get a computer science seat in or IT seat in IITs or NITs or go to NDA. So going to the engineering college was my backup. But after class 12th, I what my rank in JEE was that I was not able to get CSIT seats in NIT or ITs. So I considered to take a drop so that I could parallelly prepare for both for NDA as well as for JEE Advanced and mains. So that was the reason I gave him, but he was pretending to be not to be convinced, and he was keep asking me questions regarding that. And secondly, he was like, "You're such a bright child. You got this much percentage in 10th and 12th. Then why didn't you go for KVPY and NTSC exam?" So I was giving him reasons, sir, that from those exams are conducted for basically for if you want to pursue in research from further studies. But I had no interest in them. I had interest only in either NDA or taking BTech as my backup. So I was trying to convince him with this answer, but still he was making out some questions from here and there and keep asking from me.
Okay. So how important do you think being lively in the interview is?
I think being lively or active is the main reason why you get selected in any interview. Because the two things which they see in interview is your confidence and the communication skill. With these
Mhm.
two qualities, you can ace any interview in your life, not only of NDSSB, but any interview. So being lively, the way you speak, the way you tell them their answer, or the way you frame your answer before telling it to the interviewer matters a lot. And you can think fast or you can regain the points faster only if you are lively. And when you are lively or active, only then you can have self-faith, and the self-confidence will boost you. So being lively is actually matters the most in the interview, ma'am.
Okay. So have you also appeared for mock PIs? And if yes, how important do you think appearing for mock PI is?
Actually, ma'am, before my first attempt of the SSB, I joined a coaching, and there I attended for the personal interview, and two PIs, actually mock PIs. And after that, in my home, I told my father sometimes to take mock PI or my brother. So that was also a practice for me. And it is actually very important to do a mock PI, because what you think is that I'll handle it in the directly in the interview, but it does not go that way. Firstly, you have to get familiar with the pressure, with the questions, with the uh, rapid fire round, or the level of questions they ask, the way they ask. So with you have to get familiar with that atmosphere, and to get really familiar, you need to get practice to a lot of PIs, mock PIs, and that really helps to boost confidence in you. As when you go to the real interview, you think that I have already done it, so this is not a new task for me. So it is really helpful to go through the mock PIs before.
All right. Okay. So as you're already studying at NIT, right? NIT Bangalore, and you're ready to leave NIT all along to join NDA. How you got this motivation? Like generally people like think of going to NITs and IITs as you already had the dream of, right? And now you're ready to leave it. तो कैसे आपने मोटिवेट किया खुद को कि हाँ ठीक है, this is my preference and I want to go here only.
What I think is it is all about your passion, the thing which you are crazy for, the thing which you crave for, and the thing which you think day in and day out. For me, this thing has always been NDA and Air
Mm-hmm.
Force. So from class 8 standard, it was clear for me यार कि बनना है तो pilot बनना है. So I actually started preparing for NDA from class 12th, but that dream has been since class 8. So since that time, I had only been dreaming for joining Air Force, thinking of flying the fighter jet aircrafts, and so that was my day in and day out thinking. So it's all about the thing which you are passionate, and when you are so much into one thing, you other things literally doesn't matter much for you. So
Mm-hmm.
you're ready to give everything for that dream. At last, when it comes to you, you'll surely look up to make your career with that dream.
Okay. So now I'll ask about your psych test. Okay. So
Yes.
psych test is something which everybody is like somewhat afraid of. सबको लगता है हाँ हमारी psych खराब है ना, हम नहीं लिख पा रहे, हम complete कर भी पाएंगे या नहीं कर पाएंगे, है ना. उसके बाद भी there are doubts कि how many number of attempts are sufficient to get passed in the psych test. Right. तो आपकी क्या strategy थी while preparing and how it went for you in your actual test?
So I'm coming to the psych. Uh, what matters the most in psych is practice, because your handwriting and speed is required in that, and that will come only through practice. And during my preparation, actually, used to start my SSB preparation around 1.5 months before the SSB, so that ऐसा नहीं होता था कि last में यार अभी ये भी पढ़ना है, अभी ये भी पढ़ना है. So there was 1.5 months is quite a plenty of time. So prepare for the SSB. So I used to practice for psych in a set, like from 9 to 12, I'll give TAT, VAT, SRT, and SGT. For the TAT, what I used to do was I used to make only 4 to 5 stories in one day. And for the next 6 stories, I just made a theme in my mind, and I used to write the blank story. And then for the VAT, I used to take up any YouTube video or through any like Target SSB app is there. I used to go there and just practice it from there. And after the VAT, I used to refer the SSBCrack psychology book, which is psych test book, which is there. So for SRTs, I use that, as most of the SRTs which comes in the SSB, it is like around the similar. So or I did not used to give always 30 minutes SRT test. Sometimes whenever does not used to feel कि यार 30 minutes नहीं लिख पाऊंगा, अभी मन नहीं कर रहा, then I would only give it for 15 minutes. And I calculated like अगर 15 minutes में 27 या 26 हो जा रहा है तो 54 53 उधर जाके हो जाएगा 30 minutes में. And SDT, I used to prepare and just read it. Written practice, I did it only, I guess, 6 to 8 times for any SSB attempt. So always give, what I would suggest is always give psych test in a set, like TAT, WAT, SRT, and SDT all together. Not like TAT now and then giving WAT 2 hours later or in the evening. Whenever you make a time, just give it in a set, and practice matters the most. Because of practice, the level of answers, the level of response, the speed with which you write, the speed with which you think, and making theme of any story, or giving your reaction on any situation, that will improve. So, and that has helped me also, like practice has helped me a lot for the psych. And this the mantra for the psych, I would say, is practice, practice, and practice.
So it was the regular process, like on the daily basis, you were attempting all the tests in your psych.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very well planned actually. So this is something which is even new to me. Our candidate is practicing the entire psych day on the daily basis. But yes, as you said, just by practicing only you can beat that constraint of time there, right?
Yes,
Otherwise, your hand will go numb and it will stop working in
exactly.
between and it will be like, yaar, kya ho raha hai, ye sone do, hai na?
Yes, ma'am.
Especially in AFSBs when everything is happening on the very first day, right?
Yes,
तो
ma'am.
उसके लिए तो प्रैक्टिस बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, एज सेड बाय तेजस, वेरी वेल सेड यार. Okay, now I want to know about your timetable, है ना? Now I am getting very much like curious to know how were you able to manage time, right? You were going to your college as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you were practicing for your returns also. You were preparing for SSB also. So time management कैसे करते? Generally, you like whenever I talk with people, they are like, "Ma'am, we don't have time," and they are not doing anything in life, but they don't have time.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
how you manage your time in such a way that you could give time to each and every aspect of your test and your personal life as well?
Yes, actually, I would say time management has played a key role in my getting recommended in this attempt. And you have to make a schedule for each and every day, because college में क्या है कि your timetable for each and every day is different in our college. सो उसके हिसाब से आपको प्रिपेयर करना था कि हाँ इतने बजे से इतने बजे तक क्या करना है, इतने बजे से इतने बजे तक क्या करना है. And what my normal or average day started with was I got up at around 5:30, then got freshen up in half an hour. Then from 6 to 6:30, I used to go for jogging and a little bit of exercise in the morning. Then I came and had breakfast, and our classes start from 8. So the classes were usually from 8 to 12, and 12 to 1 was lunch break. And so after 1, I used to take a nap of around 1 hour. Then classes were again from around 2. Sometimes it was till 3, 4, or sometimes till 5. And what I did was, as soon as the classes ended, I just came and had snacks. And after that, I just went to the library for studying. And firstly, there I used to practice for psych tests. Then sometimes I did not got time to practice for the psych test, because psych test requires a lot of time. So जब मैं घर पे था, and when I took a drop, I used to practice psych test daily. But in the college, sometimes I does not used to get time. So sometimes there were some days when I could not prepare for psych test. At that time, I prepared for the interview. Like, I just used to open up my diary, and as I said, I prepared so many questions and answers, the points. I used to take a read at them. Then after for the lecturate, I used to read the sheets which I have. I prepared sheets for the lecturate. And sometimes I used to watch the mock interviews which are there on the YouTube, just to maintain the flow of that interview. And then I used to prepare for the narration part. Like, our campus is too big, so I sometimes went into like ground or somewhere, so that I could practice for my individual narration. And that I did. And even in the evening, I just went for exercise daily, so that I could also keep a note on my physical health for the individual obstacles. Then at night, I again came here to have a dinner, and then again went to library for studying for the SSB. So sometimes I used to come from the library till 12 or 12:30, and then again come and get a sleep till 5:30 or 5:45, get up again. And so I used to sleep around 6 hours in a day during that preparation. And that was quite enough for me. I was like कि हाँ यार, जब हो जाएगा उसके बाद सोते रहेंगे, अभी तो इधर मेहनत करनी है. So that was my normal or average day routine.
वेरी वेल सेड है ना. ये मोटिवेशन इज व्हाट लैकिंग इन मेनी ऑफ द एस्पिरेंट्स है ना. अभी क्या है कि नोबडी इज एबल टू ओवरपावर देयर स्लीप नाउअडेज. तो वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू आर एबल टू मैनेज एंड यू आर एबल टू मेक योरसेल्फ एक्सेप्ट कि हाँ यार ठीक है, इतना सफिशिएंट है, बहुत है, अभी कल को देख लेंगे बाद में, है ना.
Yes, ma'am, exactly.
Right. Okay. Now I ask about your GTO. Okay. So you know that there are 9 tasks in GT, out of which some are indoor and some are outdoor, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So which one is your favorite? Is it indoor and outdoor? What type of practice you gave for the GTO, and which went best for you in the same?
Actually, ma'am, in my this attempt, I got a very constructive group, and literally it felt like they were my friends whom I knew from before. So it was that feeling, and when you get that feeling, you just go with the team very easily and very smoothly.
Right.
And my favorite, I would say, in the interview, like in the indoor, it was GD, the group discussion part, and the outdoor, it was the command task. So I would say that because our GD went well. As I said, the group was too constructive, and we listened to each other's point. And
Okay.
just
Can
keep
you
shouting.
highlight the topic, type of topics asked in your GD or your lecturing, so that people who are going for first attempt can have an idea कि हाँ यार ऐसा ऐसा कुछ.
Yes, ma'am. In our this attempt of the SSB, the topic was the infrastructure of defense in India and how can we improve it.
Okay.
And there were some leads like through the increasing of the budget, or through technology, or through participation of the private companies. And the other one was the negative side of the media, or the ill effects of media these days. And why is it? Is it because of the TRP raise, or is it because of gaining more and more popularity among the people? Or one more lead was there, I'm not able to remember. And that was the topic that we chose. So it was quite a good topic, and as I remember, in my other attempts, the topic was like the uh, the development of social media these days, how deep social media has penetrated into the lives of people, and what are the reasons for it. That was there. And lecturate, as far as I remember, in my case, it was intellectual property, blue water navy, accident, and the improvement in teaching advisory in the schools and colleges. And out of which I chose the intellectual property. Although I did not had any knowledge about intellectual property and the blue water navy, as I would say, because I didn't read much about navy, as my preference only was air force. So I chose intellectual property. I just knew it was related something to patent or something like that. So I spoke, but still I spoke on 3 minutes on that because I was confident. Like, अगर नहीं भी आता है तो क्या हुआ? Like, I'll just make points on myself and relate it around it. And I spoke confidently for 3 minutes around it. And so that was it. And GD, yes, GD and command task was my favorite, I would say.
Okay, so what about the preparation part? What type of inputs you gave for GTU in your preparation, जो आपको help किया आपके actual SSB में?
Yes, ma'am. What one good thing about SSB is कि आप जब एक चीज के लिए प्रिपेयर करते हो तो आपकी दूसरी चीज भी प्रिपेयर होते जाती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप जब करंट अफेयर्स पढ़ते हो या फिर व्हेन यू रीड अबाउट द जनरल अवेयरनेस ऑफ डिफेंस, आपका इंटरव्यू के लिए भी वो प्रिपेयर होता है. इट प्रिपेयर्स यू फॉर द लेक्चरेट एंड इट प्रिपेयर्स यू फॉर द GD as well. So I read also from the 100 topic books which is there of the SSB crack, the ebook which is there. So that was helpful too. And I went on various websites to gather the defense knowledge about the foreign relations, the geopolitics. It helped me a lot for the GD and lecturate. And sometimes I used to practice lecturate in my home. Like I used to give it in front of my parents or my elder brother. So in the time constraint, so that helped me to gain confidence while giving the lecturate. And when you start giving it out at home or anywhere, when you start practicing it out, you will learn how to manage those 2.5 minutes of making points in your mind and regaining those points while you give out the lecturate. And that also helps to judge yourself whether your voice is loud or low, or whether you are speaking fast or slow. That helps you to judge yourself and correct yourself. So I would suggest you do that. And other parts, as snake race, I would say it requires no preparation. You just have to go with the flow during that. And for the individual obstacles, as I said, I did exercise daily, jogging daily, and just strengthen your muscles or hand muscles, and just do jogging daily, and it will keep you fit for the individual obstacles. And for the command task and PGT, HGT, FGT, I would say is just maintain a good relation with your team while doing that. एंड ऐसा भी नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप एक ही चीज कर रहे हो. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप बस केवल बल्ली और प्लैंक रखे जा रहे हो, या फिर रोप बांधे जा रहे हो, या फिर केवल सॉल्यूशन दिए जा रहे हो पीछे से, या फिर बस लोड उठा के खड़े हो. यू डू नॉट हैव टू डू वन थिंग, यू हैव टू डू एवरीथिंग देयर. आपको सॉल्यूशंस भी देना है, समटाइम्स अपने टीममेट को हेल्प करना है, समटाइम्स प्लैंक भी रखना है, बल्ली लेना है. एंड यू डू नॉट हैव टू फाइट कि यार मेरा वाला सोल्यूशन ही लो, मेरा वाला सोल्यूशन ही लो. You just work on one solution and tell your teammate ki, if this does not work out, then we'll try your plan also. Then calm him down. And you have to, what I realized through these 5 attempts is, nobody can tell you कि यार आपको वहां पे क्या करना चाहिए.
Exactly.
अगर आपको कोई बता रहा है कि हाँ इस पॉइंट पे आपको ये करना चाहिए, उस पॉइंट पे वो करना चाहिए, then that will not work there. You have to think on your own कि हाँ मुझे यहाँ पे कैसे act करना चाहिए. And even that too goes for GD, group discussion. What happens is sometimes they say is उधर voice up जाता है, then voice कम जाता है, then whenever the voice goes low, at that point you have to enter the GD. But whenever that is happening, believe me, you will not find any point whenever the voice goes low. And that happened during my 3rd attempt. The GTO shouted on us, literally shouted on us, and he said, "Why are you all shouting at the top of your voice? Quiet." And he just silenced us, and he told us to start it again. So what happens at that point is, you cannot remember the point कि हाँ यार उन्होंने ये बोला था करने को, या फिर मुझे अभी जाना चाहिए. Nobody can tell you that. At that point you have to decide on yourself कि मुझे अभी बोलना चाहिए या फिर बाद में बोलना चाहिए, ये point बोलना चाहिए. you have to do it on your own and just feel like it is this just the friends with whom you are discussing. जब आप अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ रहते हो तो you do not think कि यार मुझे अभी बोलना चाहिए कि कब बोलना चाहिए. You just speak whenever you want to and you feel free. So just take it like that and GT will be very smooth for you.
Basically, considering your group as a friend would be a key, right? To the
Exactly.
entire set of tasks, right?
Exactly, ma'am.
Okay. So now I'll jump on to the conference very fast. And how was the conference? And you already had experience of conference. And generally, people are very much skeptical regarding conference. Ki, okay, tomorrow is the D-Day. What will happen? कितना ही ज्यादा fresher हो या repeater हो, there is some kind of like anxiousness there inside the candidate's mind. And so how was it the day before your conference? How was the whole inside the FSB center? है ना, and how you like were you feeling, कैसा आप overcome करे, or how it went all together?
Exactly, ma'am. As you said कि आप कितने भी fresher हो या फिर कितने भी repeater हो, it is always a feeling of nervousness just the day before the conference.
Right.
And every time in all through my 5 attempts of the SSB, what happens just the night before conference was we all sat around and talked about each other, about their incidents of life, like various incidents, and not anything related to SSB or NDA, just the common incidents, funny incidents, or about any horror stories or anything, just to have fun with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we did not discuss कि यार हाँ ये अच्छा गया है या फिर वो अच्छा गया है. We just discussed about different things. And that day, like the second last day, the night before the conference is the best night, I would say. कि उस दिन सब फ्री होते हैं कि हाँ यार सारे टेस्ट हो गए, ये हो गया, अनलेस अनटिल आपका नेक्स्ट डे जीटी बचा हो. एंड यू आर फ्री एंड आप कुछ भी बात कर सकते हो अपने फ्रेंड के साथ. ऐसा नहीं रहता कि यार कल ये भी टेस्ट बचा है. And yes, nervousness is there at the back of your mind, but you have to feel that yeah, it's a common thing. And next day you have to attend the conference with full mood on, and you just do not show your nervousness over there, and that would really help you.
Okay. Can you highlight the type of question asked earlier in your conference, and how was it different this time?
uh, Actually, in my first and third attempt, I would say the conference was too short, and they just asked me like, how was your stay there, stay here, how was the food and friend, and what one thing that you have learned here. And as I said, ki, sir, one thing which I have learned here is at home I used to have my dinner at 10:30 or 11. But coming to the SSB, I have learned that having dinner at 8:30 p.m. is just too good a schedule for me. And so that is the thing which I'll carry along from here. And in my this attempt of the SSB, it was very short also. And they asked me, how was your stay and how many friends have you made? And how differently have you prepared this SSB from the previous SSBs? So that question I answered in this attempt. And yes, it was too short. And the conference lasted very shortly.
Okay, very good. Okay, so in your AFSBs, right, generally you get time for your medicals, है ना? But in your SSBs, it is like from the very next day, the medicals will start. So
Yes, ma'am.
what type of preparations do you think a person should do for the medicals? अगर उनको टाइम मिल रहा तो.
आई वुड से कि यार आप पहले अपना ईएनटी जो नॉर्मल प्रोसेस होते हैं ईएनटी चेक करवा लीजिए अपने, लाइक क्यूबिटस वैल्गस या फिर स्पाइन एक्सरेज हैं वो सब करवा लीजिए. आप अपना नोज या फिर जो भी आपका कॉमन विच इज विजिबल थिंग, यू जस्ट गेट इट चेकड अप एट एनी हॉस्पिटल. सो दैट वुड हेल्प यू टू प्रिपेयर इन एडवांस. सो जो आपको मेडिकल के बाद जो 42 डेज मिलता है उसके पहले भी आपको अराउंड 1 मंथ मिल जाता है in AFSBs. So that would really help you a lot, and that will give you a time to think यार अभी क्या करना चाहिए. Because what happens is after you go to the medical, when you get any issue, आपका फिर उस टाइम पे लगता है कि यार अभी क्या करूं अभी क्या करूं. So when you have any idea about it from advance, so that will help you a lot, and that will give you a time to think यार how should I plan it to correct it.
Right. Also, as we know that medical for flying branch specially is very difficult, है ना? It's
Yes.
very rigorous. They are checking each and every part very thoroughly, taking a lot of time, many X-rays and everything.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
how was the time period while you were there in the medicals? And how was the like enjoyment or the routine? Was it hectic a lot or normally it went? थोड़ा सा कुछ भी अगर आप बताना चाहो regarding it.
Some the medicals experience was too fine, and firstly I would say I got one issue in medicals, and I have made it. I have applied for it through the AME board, and I'll go for that too. And the medical process is very chill, ma'am. As I would say, there is testing for around from around 7:30 a.m. in the morning till in the AFSB is around 3:30 whenever it is a short day, and till 5:30 on full working days. And so but that period is very chill. You are with your some seniors are also there from AFCAT or CDS, and some of your NDA friends are also there, so you do not have to study, or you do not have to worry about anything. You just have to be there, make memories together, and you can run around the campus. You can have a look on the campus too well. And the campus of Subrato Park is very huge, so it is a very good experience there. And when I went there, I was the only NDA guy, and there were 4 to 5 FCAT bhaiya were there. So we used to enjoy a lot. Sometimes went in the canteen or went to the. There is also theater in the Subrata Park, so that is also a quite good place. So it was very relaxing period, and I would say कि you do not worry कि अगर अभी गया तो क्या होगा या फिर ये हो गया तो क्या होगा. You do not think that in medicals. Just enjoy your period over there, and just be very relaxing and enjoy that moment.
Okay. So, all in all, what would be the tips and tricks for the people who will be going for their first attempt and also are hardcore repeaters, already getting demotivated कि यार नहीं हो रहा है 5 बार 10 बार जाके, तो क्या लगता है आपको? What would be your suggestion for them?
Firstly, starting with the NDA written exam, what I would suggest to the aspirants is you focus on the written exam first. What I have seen is in most of the aspirants is they see the videos of the written and the SSB parallelly. So focus on one thing first. In my all attempts of the NDA, when I was preparing for the written, I saw nothing of the SSB. I did not think even thought about that. I was just into written. So focus on one thing first. Clear your written first, then go start thinking about SSB. And as a fresher, I would say you watch a lot of YouTube videos as they are there, and if possible, if you want, then join a coaching to get familiar with the tests that are conducted at the SSB, and that would surely will help you to get familiar with the atmosphere that is built around there. So ma'am, what I would further suggest is to have self-discipline in you, and it plays one of the major roles even during the written exam and during the SSB preparation. Because when you have self-discipline will help you to develop other qualities too. The confidence, the communication skills, getting up at 5:30 in the morning. I would say कि यार मेरा एक दिन भी मन नहीं किया कि I would get up at 5:30 and go for running. Not even a single day in these 3 years. I felt like I should really go, but still I went, because at that time when you have self-discipline, it does not matter for you कि यार whether you want to do it now or not, or whether you are interested now to go for jogging or not. What matters at that time is it really important, like is it required to do it or not. And when you have self discipline, then you will do it. You will do it with full passion even if you don't want to do it, because you know that it is too important for you to get recommended this time. So build self discipline, have time management, make schedule during the written and SSB exams as well. Scheduling will help you a lot, and there will be many times when you will not, your things will not go as the schedule which you have prepared. There will be many days, but still you does not have to worry about it. You have to maintain the consistency. Even if you are not able to live or live your day as related to your schedule, you have to keep trying. And this was as a fresher, and when you get conferenced out or when you get screened out, what plays a major role after that is your mindset. आपका mindset play करता है. What I used to think after my conference out or screen out was like it is not that I do not have it in me, but it is that I'm not able to show them that I have it in me. And that matters at SSB. It is not the question do you have it in you, it is can you show us that you have it in you. That is the question they ask. So you have to feel कि यार हाँ इस बार नहीं हुआ तो कोई बात नहीं, I will work on it, I will work on my mistakes, I will look upon them, and work on your mistakes. Prepare for the SSB like you have prepared for the last attempt. Do not think about the results, whether you will get recommended or not. Please do not worry about that, and just give your 100% with consistency. That I would say.
Okay. So very well covered actually. This is the crux है ना. अगर आप demotivate हो जाओगे तो there is no way out. It's
Exactly.
like keep yourself motivated. कि it's okay if it didn't happen this time. Definitely going to happen in the upcoming attempt, right?
Exactly, ma'am.
Right. Okay. So how was SSB crack exams helpful in your preparation? And what would be your suggestion like for the aspirants who are enrolled with us?
I would say that SSBcrack is developing newer ideas day by day, as I am seeing, following it on the websites and Instagrams or social media. And it is covering not most, I would say all of the aspects of SSB, starting from the OIR till the interview, psych or ppdt, GT, everything. From since day 1 to day 5, it is covering everything. And I prepared from the SSBcrack OIR ppdt book, the psych book, and the lecturate, which I told, the ebook which is there. So it has helped me quite a lot in my journey for getting recommended. And I would tell the aspirants to look about the materials which are there on the SSBcrack, and the defense update is also, it is put on the website daily, so read it from there. And when you have access to this lot of resources, you when you refer to these, you actually get familiar with the real atmosphere of the SSB. So it is quite really useful and helpful for any aspirant, whether fresher or repeater, to see through it and refer to the SSBcrack resources.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for your kind words. And the final question is, what would be your plans or what are your bucket list before joining the academy? So you'll be going for the training for approximately 4 years, right? तो
Yes,
उससे
ma'am.
पहले क्या है plans आपके कि हाँ यार ये तो करके जाना बोलना.
Yes, ma'am. Firstly, I just hope कि हाँ AMB में that medical issue gets cleared. And before that, I would like to spend more time with my family, as academy में जाने के बाद everybody knows कि it does not get much time after that. And I would like to go tour with my friends, as my friends and my family have supported me a lot in this journey. Because what happens is, when you are involved in any preparation, not only you but your father, your mother, your elder sister, brother also helps you a lot. In my case, it was elder brother and my father and mother who stood as a large support for me. So I would thank them too, and I would like to spend time with them, go on a tour with them, and go to theaters or just enjoy spending time with them, ma'am.
Okay, so it was very nice of you sharing your experience in such a beautiful way. And again, all the very best. All hope you will get your medicals clear very soon and going to join the NDA. So yeah, all the very best again, and thank you so much, Tejas, for joining with us today.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
I hope this session of Tejas Pratap was very much helpful for all of you, and you got a very good insight about NDA SSBs. And if you still have any doubts, you can put it in the comments below. Rest, if you are preparing and you are going for SSBs, you can definitely check out our SSB online course. And all the very best for your upcoming attempts. Bye bye, take care, and Jai Hind.
अगर आप एक डिफेंस एस्पिरेंट हैं और एसएसबी इंटरव्यू, एनडीए, सीडीएस, एफकैट जैसे एग्जाम्स के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं, तो आप एसएसबी क्रैक एग्जाम्स के कोर्स को चेक करना ना भूलें। आप हमारी लर्निंग एप्लीकेशन को गूगल प्ले स्टोर से भी डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं।